I mean, these are people that are experiencing like the worst moment of your life, having your child needing intensive care. There's just nothing like it.
I'm Max,
I'm Mary.
and we've been going to Christ Community for 5 years now. From the start, Mary and I have always wanted kids. We weren't sure about what the timing of that looked like. And then soon after moving to the Charlotte area and kind of getting settled in, we realized that we wanted kids and we wanted to plant roots. So we started trying for our first.
When we got pregnant with Will, I had a very normal, healthy pregnancy. All of the testing and stuff that was done while I was pregnant was normal.
I wanted to be a better husband. I wanted to be a better father to this child that was on the way. And so I decided to pick up the Bible to see what it was all about. I did a Bible in 1 year reading plan, and by the grace of God, I was saved. Mary was reading the Bible at the same time. She was saved. But really, I was wrestling with a lot of those questions about why do bad things happen to good people? I was just hungry for those hard-hitting questions. And thankfully, I was spiritually fed in the way that I needed to be. And that was God kind of preparing us for Will coming on the scene and that trial that we were getting ready to enter into.
Shortly after Will was born, we started noticing things that kind of told us that he wasn't 100% healthy. The first thing was that he had a heart murmur, and so the first big bomb that was dropped on us was that he had a heart defect that was large and that he would need a surgical repair for. But then when he was about 3 weeks old, he started not feeding well. And so that kind of led us to take him to the ER. When we got there, they gave us the news that he was in heart failure, and they started talking to us about all the potential causes of heart failure and that he would potentially need a heart transplant. And that started a 3-month-long stay at Levine's in Charlotte.
It was really the first significant trial that we had gone through in our lives, and it was just completely shell-shocking to have this child that comes on the scene that we love an indescribable amount, and then to have the possibility of potentially losing him. So it was hard.
I remember feeling like, why me? Like, why is our baby the one that has all these issues? I would say that my internal dialogue with the Lord was like a continuous prayer that I had never had before. And a lot of my energy in prayer was spent asking for Will to be healed and for us to be able to take him home.
I think a trial like that definitely gets you out of the day-to-day stresses that you have. It forces you into constant prayer with the Lord. In hindsight, we're thankful for those trials, but amidst it, it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I used to be one of those people that looked at families with a child with special needs and just thought, oh, man, that seems so hard, and that seems like just a life that, I'm not capable of living. Now, I can't imagine him any other way, and I appreciate so much about who he is and just exactly the way God made him. Yeah. And he is innocent, and he is fun, and he brings us truly so much joy. We had little t-shirts made for Will when he was in the cardiac ICU, and they said "Strong Will" on the front, and then on the back was Romans 8:28. Romans 8:28 continues to bring me peace to this day. God works everything for good, and I truly believe that, and I think that trial helped me believe that and helped me kind of cling to that truth.
Everything that we had, all of our eggs were in the basket of this life. Being shell-shocked with that trial and all the things that come with it really forced us not only into prayer, but to long for something that's much better than this life.
This life is short, and these things that we're struggling with, like someday they will be completely gone. And knowing too that like all of Will's health struggles, there is a day where like he has none, and he has no limitations by his body, and he is free. In the last 6 years of Will's life, we have been in the hospital with him for I would say 10 to 15 times. Through all of this, we've been really fortunate to be part of amazing community groups that have provided for us in ways that we weren't capable of providing for ourselves. They brought meals, they helped us with childcare for our other kids, they prayed for us and with us. We've been sent countless cards from the church and just offering words of support. The cards that we've received from, people in the church and our community are so special to us. They just are a symbol of belonging and being known by people.
You talk to people in your community group, and to know that those prayers that we're requesting are making their way back to other people in the church, and that people are taking the time to write cards to us, and we know that people are praying behind the scenes for our family, even when we're not directly asking them, is huge.
It's a good feeling to be in a super dark time like that and know that people are out there praying for you and know that people love you and care about your children and, want to help you in any way that they can. If you're having something like this happen, tell people about it. I always feel like kind of silly sharing with other people like, oh, we're back in the hospital again. But the way that if you open your heart up to community and just like the way that God, designed community to be, it's amazing what it will provide for you. And I truly believe that God works through his people to provide.
To be plugged in at Christ Community and to be surrounded by God's people and people who have a heart for us and people who have a heart for Will just make the trials that much easier.
Christmas of 2023 was when Will had a longer hospitalization. I had just wrapped up a women's Bible study and, was still in contact with the women that were in my group. They knew that Will was in the hospital and they had been praying for us. And one woman in particular got all the girls together in the group and they provided us with some money. And it had been the exact amount of money that we had spent on childcare those 2 weeks. And so I just felt like, wow,
It's a blessing.
Nobody can do that but God,
It's been some hard moments, but God has stayed with us through all of those trials. His forgiveness is abundant through all of it, and it's so easy to look back and see his hand over all of it in our lives. It can get really daunting to think about the outcome of what could be, and it feels good to just have God, and he knows the end from the beginning. He knows exactly what is going to happen with William, and just to take those anxieties and to be able to cast them upon God.
The ICU at a children's hospital is one of the worst places you can be. I mean, these are people that are experiencing like the worst moment of your life, having your child needing intensive care. There's just nothing like it. I remember with our first stay thinking, how are people even getting out of bed if they don't have the hope of the gospel and they don't have a hope that like this life isn't it and that, there's going to be an end to this suffering. I'm just grateful that, God made our hearts soft towards him and that we know him and that we can lean into that hope.
I would just want to say how thankful we are, not only for our community, but for our church. A church that wants to preach the gospel and keeps going back to that rooted truth. I would want people to know that there is a community at this church that cares for you and loves you, and to get plugged in if you're not already. Because whether it's the highs of life that you're going through and the joys, or whether it's the trials, there is a community that wants to surround you